Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. When fans tuned in to see Ryan McPartlin and Taylor Cole bring their signature Hallmark charm to the screen, no one could have guessed the emotional weight they were carrying behind the scenes. What looked like an effortlessly warm, romantic, feel-good shoot was, in truth, a deeply personal test for both actors, one that unfolded quietly, away from the cameras, and only gradually came to light among the cast and crew. Today, we're diving into the untold story of how these two Hallmark favorites navigated hidden heartbreak while still delivering the kind of chemistry, sincerity, and comfort viewers expect from their films. Long before production even began, both Ryan and Taylor were dealing with private struggles they hadn't planned to share publicly. They were professionals, determined to show up for the project, committed to giving fans the movie they deserved. But emotional burdens don't disappear just because the cameras start rolling. Ryan, known for his upbeat energy and steady presence on set, was quietly juggling a personal loss that hit him harder than he let on. Friends of his had noticed he had been more introspective lately, but during the shoot, that weight seemed to intensify. He didn't make dramatic announcements or speak about it openly. Instead, he tried to handle the grief internally while maintaining the trademark charm his roles demand. Taylor, on the other hand, was balancing her own emotional crossroads. She has always been known for her calm professionalism, but on this particular shoot, there were moments when the strain peeked through in small, fleeting ways. She was dealing with a heartbreak of her own, one that wasn't tied to a single moment but to a series of life changes unfolding all at once. She arrived on set prepared, lines memorized, ready to build the tender on-screen world fans love. Yet, something in her eyes said she was carrying more than she let on, even as she smiled between takes. The remarkable part is how these two actors, both facing emotional upheaval, naturally became each other's strongest source of support. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't planned, and it wasn't something they broadcast. It simply happened in the quiet, in the long hours between scenes, in the moments when filming pauses but feelings don't. Ryan's usually buoyant personality would dip at times, and Taylor, intuitive and perceptive, could sense it. Without prying, she became a steady presence, someone who could listen without expecting him to perform or explain. At the same time, Ryan noticed the heaviness Taylor was carrying and made it his mission to lift the mood whenever he could, even when he wasn't entirely sure where she needed support most. Their connection wasn't about romance. It was about human understanding. Two professionals realizing that to survive the emotional terrain of the shoot, they had to create a safe space for each other. Cast members later mentioned how their off-camera interactions seemed almost meditative at times. They would sit quietly, share small observations, or simply breathe together before going into emotional scenes. It wasn't rehearsed. It was an unspoken pact to get through the job with heart, even when their own hearts were fragile. As filming progressed, the script unexpectedly mirrored their real emotional landscape. Several scenes required a vulnerability that was already sitting just beneath the surface for both of them. Instead of resisting it, they let the emotions flow naturally into their performances. Ryan brought a softness and depth to his character that crew members described as unusually raw for a Hallmark project. Taylor, too, infused her scenes with a quiet strength that comes only from having lived through something difficult and choosing to keep moving anyway. Their performances weren't just acting, they were healing in motion. But it wasn't always smooth. There were days when the emotional weight nearly became too much. Ryan had moments where he'd step away from the set to take a breath, grounding himself before returning with that familiar spark. Taylor had days where she seemed on the verge of tears even before action was called. The crew, though respectful of their privacy, could sense the emotional undercurrents. Instead of pressuring them, the production adjusted. Breaks were handled more gently, scenes were rearranged when possible, and the overall pace softened to accommodate what the two leads were going through. Despite the quiet heaviness, what grew between Ryan and Taylor was a genuine trust, something that can't be forced and rarely forms so naturally. That trust translated directly into their on-screen chemistry. Viewers often talk about how real the connection in their scenes feels, and this time, there was a reason. They weren't just portraying characters trying to heal or find hope. They were living those very emotions in real time. Every small gesture, Every shared glance, every moment of silence carried layers of meaning shaped by their off-screen realities. While they never made public statements during or after filming about the hardships they faced, the people who were there understood the emotional journey. Crew members later shared that some of the most powerful scenes were the ones that demanded tenderness and quiet connection, because those scenes required Ryan and Taylor to tap into what they were already experiencing. They weren't performing heartbreak, they were navigating it. And in doing so, they produced some of their most nuanced striking is how both actors handled everything with grace. They didn't let their personal struggles overshadow the project. They didn't allow emotional pain to fracture the experience. Instead, they channeled everything they were feeling into something meaningful. That's why so many people who worked on the film describe it as one of the most emotionally grounded shoots they've ever been part of. It wasn't dramatic or explosive. It was human, honest, and quietly courageous. As filming wrapped, both Ryan and Taylor emerged from the project, not healed completely, because healing isn't instantaneous, but steadier, lighter, and more at peace than when they arrived. The emotional support they offered each other created a bond based on resilience and trust. And even though what they faced privately will likely remain private, the impact of that experience is etched into the final film. Viewers can't see the behind-the-scenes heartbreak, but they can feel the authenticity that came from it. In the end, their hidden struggles didn't weaken the production, they strengthened it. Their willingness to show up despite their pain, their choice to support each other, and their commitment to giving fans a heartfelt film turned a difficult experience into something deeply meaningful. And the result is a performance layered with truth, vulnerability, and the kind of emotional depth that only comes from living through real-life moments of uncertainty and finding hope on the other side. It's a reminder that even the most polished Hallmark movies can carry stories behind the scenes that the audience never sees, stories of resilience, quiet heartbreak, unexpected connection, and the strength it takes to keep moving forward. And for Ryan McPartlin and Taylor Cole, this project became more than a job. It became a chapter that taught them about courage, compassion, and the power of showing up even when your heart is heavy. Their journey behind the camera is just as meaningful as the story they brought to life on screen. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.